The business owners today are the same as the kings and the conquerors back then. Kings and conquerors decided to mobilize their fleet, get the people to rally around them. Today's not much different. The owners are the ones that are going to stand up. They're going to lead. They're going to rally troops. They're going to put the mission in front of people and say, this is the direction that we need to go. All right, everybody. We had no podcast last week. Let me tell you why. I was on my deathbed. Got flu A, influenza. That was no joke. It was 3 days, 4 days on the couch, done. Ended up having to get a mobile IV to come bring me an IV bag and hang it just to get some fluids back in me. And then another week of having foggy brain to the point that I didn't even know my name half of the time. That flu messed me up. So apologize for not talking to you guys last week, but I'm back. I'm 99% back. Even then, by the end of the day, I'm trashed. Like, that flu is no joke. Don't wish it on my worst enemy. So if you do have it, search for mobile IV. All right, what happened today? Today was an interesting one. We had something happen that I've never had happen, but rarely happen, like once a year. I went to go do a demo for our software system, and I asked them. I said, "Hello, how's everybody doing? You know, tell me about your sign company." And the person that was viewing it instantly goes into telling us how good his organizational system is and how superior it is to everybody else's. And he talks for 10 minutes on how better his system is. I go to just turn SquareCoil on. I'm on the dashboard. He goes, "This is already the worst thing I've ever seen." And he's just complaining. And I'm laughing, and I couldn't help myself but laugh at him. And he's like, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "You're not here to learn. You're here to fortify your walls around you, to tell yourself that you are the best person on the planet and you organize the best and nobody can do it as good as you. So you actually came on to this meeting not to learn, not to maybe find something better, but to just argue your viewpoints what's the best." And he was like, "No." And I said, "You haven't even seen the software yet. You're already poo-pooing it." So anyway, if you're like that, for the love of God, don't have any meetings. Don't listen to anybody. Just stay underneath the rock that you love. Just stay there. Because if you're going to have a meeting with somebody else, be open-minded. Listen, learn. You will learn something. There's not one conversation I've had in my entire life where I didn't learn something. Somebody's gestures, somebody's thought process, a new way of looking at things. I love learning. It's amazing. But man, oh man, talk about an asshole. I'll tell you that one right now. Can't stand those people. All right. I am stealing a page out of one of my masterminds that I'm with. And I really like the conversation that we had here. So I'm going to share it with you today. I'm going to regurgitate this. Is this my thought process? No, not really. Is this somebody else's thought process that I got pitched to? Yes, it is. Do I love it? Absolutely do I love it. And so I'm going to share it with you today. And it is, history is written by men who refuse to settle. The kings, the conquerors, and the empire builders who had the confidence, ambition, and drive to take everything they desired. Let's break that down. The kings, the emperors, the conquerors went and got what they desired. When you think about that, that was a lot wrapped up in that one sentence. You know, this is one of my favorite Joe Rogan skits. Do you think you're smart? Do you think you're really smart? If I send you into the woods with a hatchet, how long before you can send me an email? You know, there's a lot to be digested in that little statement. You got to go through the metallurgies. You got to go through computers. You got to go through diodes. You got to learn all this stuff just to send that email. The same thing happens here. Kings and conquerors decided to mobilize their fleet, get the people to rally around them, and then went and invaded the land for jewels, metals, waters, whatever that land gave them, and conquered. Today's not much different. It is not much different. The business owners today are the same as the kings and the conquerors back then. The owners are the ones that are going to stand up. They're going to lead. They're going to rally troops. They're going to put the mission in front of people and say, this is the direction that we need to go. That's hard to do for a lot of people. That's hard to do for even the owners and even the kings and the conquerors. You're going to have your bad days. But all in all, there is a methodology to this. There's a methodology to being able to conquer what you want and what you desire. Number one, they never settle. We do not settle. We don't settle for second place. We don't settle for first runner up. We are the ones that are going to get first place. I'm not saying you're getting first place on your first try. That's not saying that. But you better have a plan to get first place. You better have a plan to win and get what you need. Same with business owners. Do you have a plan and a vision for your team and where they're going? We've talked about this plenty of times, but is it written somewhere where people know? If it's not and it's only up in your noodle right now, well, that's a problem because they have no idea your vision. You need to express it over and over and over again. Just want to take a moment to talk about SquareCoil here. SquareCoil has been powering the signage industry since 2011, and we're only growing bigger and better and stronger every single day. Some of the latest updates have just made my life a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to make your life a lot easier. So if you haven't checked us out, go ahead and get on our website, squarecoil.com. Take a look. And if you have an outdated key, an old software program that's going to be closing its doors this year, definitely take a look at us because we can make that transition real simple for you. Take a look at squarecoil.com. I read somewhere the other week, it said the average 5-year-old needs to be told 4 times before it registers in their brain. 4 times. How many adults do you know are just like a 5-year-old? I got a whole bunch I know. They need to be told 4 times before it's even going to sink in once. So if you told your vision 4 years ago, trust me, everyone has forgotten. If you told your vision last month, trust me, everyone's forgotten. If you told it last week and this week, all right, now you're part of the kings and the conquerors. Now you're something. You have your push, you have your drive. You're not going to settle. What also separates the kings and the business owners from everybody else? Unshakable confidence. You need to be confident in how you speak, your tonality, how you approach people, and everything you do has to be a place of leadership. If you walk in and go, well guys, what do you think we're going to do today? You lost them right there. You just flat out lost them. When you walk in and say, I'm looking for ideas because I want to move our company to X, you're still leading. You're asking for advice, but you're still leading. That unshakable confidence comes in your voice and how you carry yourself. You ever see the people that are come like this and they're all hunched over as they walk? Does that invoke confidence? Absolutely not. Somebody with a chest standing up, they're looking brave, they're in front. Those are the people that you're going to follow. You're subconsciously going to follow them. Human nature just recognizes confident people. They stand tall, they have a good voice, they carry themselves well. That unshakable confidence is going to be exuding out of you at all times if you ever plan on being a business owner, a king, a conqueror, somebody that's going to go after what they want. A vision past your present moment. When you guys wake up, are you having a vision of where you want to go? Do you have it laid out of over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to do X. In order to get X done, I have to do this much every single day to get to the end. If you don't have your plan put in place, that's not going to work too well now, is it? You're just there today and you're going to go wherever the wind blows. Yeah, you're going to end up in a not so nice place because you don't have a vision of where you're going. When I come in, I know exactly what I'm going to get done over the 3 hours. I only set aside 3 hours. I know the other 5 hours are going to be filled up with a bunch of stuff I never saw coming. I get that. That's called life. That's called being an owner. But for 3 hours, those are mine. Those are my hours, and that's where I'm going to move the needle. I can move the needle by putting SOPs together. I can move the needle by doing some sales. I can move the needle by asking what my team needs to be more successful. I can be a servant leader, any one of those things. But I'm going to have that vision above and past the present. Ambition without limits. Do you know the force that stops most people is their own mind of their own limitations? It's true. You're your own worst enemy. You've put a limit on you that nobody's ever seen before. I had somebody do a wall sit one time with me. They said, all right, go sit on that wall, put your knees 90 degrees and do a wall sit and let's see how long you can last. And he said, before we start, how long do you think you're going to last? I said, I don't know, 3 minutes. I did that wall sit for almost 14 minutes. When I left there, I realized something that I had put limitations on myself and what else I put limitations on. You have put your own limitations on your body that you don't need to. You can do way more than you think you can. You can grind when you think you can. You don't have to turn that TV on. You can put a little vision plan together for the next day. And believe it or not, you're probably going to sleep more soundly because the brain knows what's going to do next. It's not spinning trying to figure out what tomorrow's going to bring. You have a plan. So that vision past the present is very, very important. Ambitions without limits. It's a biblical thing there. do more than what you think you can. Hell, you got Elon Musk. He's living this. He goes, I want to go inhabit Mars. Anybody else planning on doing that? I'm not. I know I have my limits. I can't afford a space shuttle. Wait a minute. I just put a limit on myself. Why can't I go be part of that program? Why can't I help him do that? It's just better of choice. Has nothing to do with me. But since I put that limit in my own head, now I'm blocked. It's not true. My ambition can be as far as reaching as it can to. The kings, the conquerors, the major business owners that are very successful companies, they have ambition without limits. Find your limits, break them, destroy them. Relentless execution. In my heyday, which was a whopping 3 years ago, I was able to bench 325. I only weigh 185 pounds. Could I bench 325 on day one? Absolutely not. I could barely bench 225. But it took me a year to bench that last 100 pounds. And I did that with relentless execution. Every single day I went to the gym with a plan of benching 325, going to the plan, I got a plan. And I executed every single time. You guys have a plan. I want to get my company to 20 employees. I want to get my company to 40 employees. Keep planning that. Keep building to the point that you need another body for the revenue that you have. You get so much more revenue, I need another body. So much revenue, I need another body. Keep building your coffers. Execute every single time on it. Don't forget where your vision is, and don't forget to execute on the vision. All that equals an unbreakable mentality. No weakness, no hesitation, just move forward at all times. I don't care if you move forward a foot. I don't care the next day you move forward a mile. You're moving forward. That mentality of I will not fail. I will not lose. I will not meet my goal. You're going to meet your goal every single time. But the only way to meet your goal is to have that unbreakable mentality that you are going to succeed. You are going to get it done. That's how kings did it. That's how conquerors did it. That's how I'm doing it. And let's hope how you're doing it too. But I love this little statement. I love this little speech that they gave. I want to share it with you guys. Hope you got something from it. Talk to you next week.